Now to that developing news here. You are looking at live pictures of the Kent County Jail where a construction crane collapsed 3 hours ago. 3 people, including a construction worker and 2 jail trustees, received minor injuries in that collapse. Well, 24-hour News 8's Joe LaFergie's been on scene ever since it all happened. Just minutes after the crane collapsed, he arrived on scene, and he joins us now live with an update on what's going on there now. Good afternoon, Joe.
Yeah, good afternoon, Brett. Well, late news from Kent County Under Sheriff John Hess is that the crane was lifting buckets of concrete onto the new sections of the jail when a cable snapped, injuring a construction worker and sending the whole thing down. It was a narrowly avoided catastrophe. Inmates in the jail were safe at jail pod located just to the west of where the crane fell, but about 100 construction workers and 50 to 60 Sheriff's Department employees were inside the administration wing of the building, the wing closest to where the crane collapsed when that crane came down. In fact, the building that houses the maintenance division for the vehicles for Kent County Sheriff's Department and other administrative spots is right under where that crane fell. And Under Sheriff Hess was in a meeting inside the administration section when the crane collapsed.
I was in an office meeting and all of a sudden the power went out and then there was a large crash. We all looked at each other and we knew immediately it was the crane. That was the biggest thing there. It's been going there. We just knew that crane has been working continuously for the last weeks, getting concrete, structures for the jail, windows and stuff up there. So we just knew from the sound of it and everything. And fortunately, again, nobody was seriously hurt.
Back here live on the scene, the crane is owned by a company called G2 out of Kent County. Grand Rapids Deputy Fire Chief says all in all, this is a best case results for something that could have turned so tragic. Just moments after the call went out, a huge contingent of safety and rescue personnel were on the scene, including the Grand Rapids Fire Department's technical rescue team. They are the team that has to pick through a construction collapse or any sort of collapse like this very meticulously, very carefully, just in case there is somebody inside. Again, the good news is only 3 minor injuries. That construction worker that was hit by that cable when it snapped, as well as the 2 trustees who were basically injured by flying debris, glass and that sort of thing. All of them okay at this hour. Now the investigation into exactly what happened starts here at the Sheriff's Department. Live in Grand Rapids, Joe LaFergie, 24-hour News 8.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. The company that manages that project has issued a statement, and we've also been looking into the company that owns that crane. Henry Erb on the case here. What do you found, Henry?
Right, Brett. The company that owns the crane is called G2 Erectors. It's from Kent County. It's been in business since 2004. According to its website, G2 Erectors is a structural steel and precast concrete company that has worked on the Medical Mile project. We checked their Michigan occupational safety and health record and found what an OSHA spokesman called typical violations found on the job. They include, for last year, 6 violations listed as serious because they could cause an injury. They include a couple of training and permit issues, an oxygen cylinder that was not chained properly, and a worker not wearing proper protection while welding. There was no indication of any accidents or injuries in their past. And the company that is managing the job where today's crane crash happened, Owen Ames Kimball, issued a statement that says safety is their #1 priority, but that unfortunately accidents occasionally occur. It says the company is investigating and plans to release more information later. MIOSHA says it has an investigator on the scene, but it could take weeks before it issues a report on the cause of the incident, whether or not there were any safety violations. At the live desk, Henry Erb, 24-hour News 8.
Give you a better idea of where all this sort of thing happened and where it was going on here. This is north, this is south, east, and west. This is the Kent County Jail right here. 196 is right here, and this is where that crane was at the time. This is where it collapsed. It was in front of this building that's being built right now, this addition that doesn't show up on this map because this picture's a little bit older, but it was near here, in between that and this maintenance building. The crane came down, collapsed mostly on this maintenance building, but you also will see it into that newer building that's being built at this point. Now, to recap this developing news here, a crane collapsed this morning at the Kent County renovation project at the jail. 3 people have minor injuries. That crane collapsed as it was moving a large tub of wet cement. One of the cables holding the tub apparently snapped, causing the collapse. The main jail was not damaged. Now, we have multiple crews staying on top of this story throughout the afternoon, working to learn more here. We'll bring you live coverage tonight, starting on 24-hour News 8 at 5.